So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for having me here, sharing. And we're in a circular economy, which means sharing. It's a sharing economy. And that's what I'm going to do. Share about 30 years of experience with you in the recycling world, in creating circular closed-loop systems. And speaking about initiatives, it was great that only last year, I was approached by Cross Recycling Group to be part of the team. They have 3 generations. Yeah, the 4th is coming. They're all called Henk. That's very nice, you know, where they come from Volendam. One is generation Henk, and then the grandfather will pass it on. So if you say Henk in Volendam, somebody will look up. So here we are, generations in recycling plastics. But there are a lot of changes which happened only in 2018 and 19, and maybe if I push the right button, this is all part of the show. Huh? Yeah. See? I put up an agenda for you. I've got 20 minutes, so I'm going to take you through the challenge, durability, and the CO2 footprint in horticulture and floriculture. There are an enormous type of changes in law in 2018 and 19. We're talking about eco-rexia. Now even politics are influenced, and we need the 6 innovations which were developed in the last half year for a transition model. It's like these words which come up, transition. What are the benefits? I don't believe in change if it doesn't bring benefit. So ecologic has to go in close harmony with economics. If you want to make changes in the whole logistic chain, you won't find any partners or supporters without handing them over some benefits. So who are we? Organization and partners will come last, because I don't do anything myself, at least as less as possible. So I work together with partners, and I try to combine know-how. Even Partner Innovations supplied this part of the box. And Loes, that's fantastic because you have years of experience. So why would I invest in a part of a system which I'm developing? The only thing I would ask Loes is to use my recycled materials. So that's again part of the partnership. What has happened? First, we talked about in China, import restrictions. Not 1,000 kilo, but 700 million kilo. An enormous impact on the total world. The US, UK, Japan, but Holland too had a drastic problem. So where are we going to export this beautiful foil? Like this, for example. We have to know where we're going with the material, and that happened quite fast. First we went to Vietnam, that went well for 2 months. Then we went to India, and then everything was full of plastics. So we're back on our own intelligence. We should solve the problem. We have to come up with solutions. Directive packaging, 11 products out of the 300 million tons in the ocean. The scientists learned that there were 11 categories which were responsible for 85% of the plastic waste. Now, 85% was plastic, and 11 categories were forming this 85%. Then the German packaging law, they announced a new system. Well, the dual system exists for only 20 years, I think. But what's new is that now they're going to register and control it. So nothing changed. The only thing is control. And you have to track and trace what you export. But social media are not exactly helping to support the image of plastics. I can tell you there's a lot of pressure on supermarkets, and that's why everybody's looking for solutions. We're not going to change the social media. We're not going to change the perception within short. So what we're going to do is stick to realism, stick to economy, and accept the fact that plastics, it will take time to change the perception. Here you've got the 11 categories: food containers, cups for beverage, and what have you, and even the lightweight plastic carrier bags. Here we are back to our segment, flour. one-way flower pack wrapping, which will be banned in near future. And it's a European law. That's one of the first European laws where no country will be exempted and will have a preferential treatment. So the next slide, Henk. When I started, I said, well, what's our mission? We need a mission before I start working. The mission is not to do 25% of upcycling. So we are not going to accept any cascade in quality. I'm not going to turn into products which go from B2C to B2B or end up as furniture or whatever. I want to have 100% upcycling of 300,000 tons. We do 200,000 tons, and Cross is now building 80,000 square meters of capacity in Kosovo to absorb all one-way packaging from the supermarkets, collected from 23,000 supermarkets, and we're going to use them, reproduce them into durables. We need sustainable volumes. If we're going to talk about standards, setting standards, because obviously that's what we need, then you need a certain security of volumes. We need volumes. We are talking to the Dutch government and afvalfonds and the various people who control the waste streams, and we say we want more. We want more plastics. We know they have a deficit of 120 million in recycling plastics. We're going to help them. And say, stick to the monostreams, stick to the polyolefins, quit all the rest, stick to polypropylene, polyethylene. We'll collect everything you have, we'll make. This has been a technology developed over the last 3 years. We will produce these pellets, you call them. This is the new material to produce laminates for flower bags and any type of materials. If we can go back. You're looking at the time scale, I guess. We save resources for future generations. That's another criteria. And we want 25% savings in the value chain and a positive impact of 25%. That's what we guarantee. The next one. So we came up and we looked at the total chain. So we went to the growers in Kenya. So what we have here is a one-way packaging. It's an export packaging. It has a 3 to 5 days life cycle. 15 million of these cartons are being imported in Holland only for roses. That's 30 million kilograms. If you look at NASA pictures from Kenya, then you see beautiful jungle 15 years ago. If you look now, there are gray areas. So there's a deforestation by companies, 50% owned by the president, of course, in Kenya, and then that's a drama. So we have to try to avoid that. And the challenge is to do something which brings economy and ecology. We're not going to change the transport, air transport, within a fortnight. So now, I'm without a microphone, but still, I've been a singer in a band, so I guess you will still hear it. Here, what we did is we made this box. How? We developed a co-extrusion technology, and here is enormously strong, enormously light. This is 1 centimeter, I don't need that for a box, so I go for this one. Here I have a box, exactly the same measurements. Why? I don't want to change logistics, I don't want to change the investments of people. So, this box is now in Kenya, but it arrived like this. It arrived by vessel, obviously. Put it right here. Please remind me I put it there. So, this is 8 millimeters. Now I can put 5,000 in the 40-foot container. Now I'm ready for return transport. I set it up. Not me, I hope. 15 million of them in a couple of years. What did I do? I made a combination of injection molding and extrusion. This is fully closed, so no water can penetrate. It's extremely durable, so we guarantee 10 years. Why? Because it's only 4 trips a year from Kenya to Amsterdam. 4 trips, 7 years. No one did say 7 years? I gave 3 years away. 15, that's what I said, right? So it's only a small trick for such a durable car. Now, I'm closing the box, so that was not the idea. First we're going to fill it with flowers. Now, the curious thing is this is 20 centimeters high, it's 30 width, and it's 1 meter, so it's column modular. Beautiful, fits to pellets. Now, what we do at the farm, we fill it like this. We fill more in the box, more flowers than sugar, because it will, bit by bit, be forced into a lower volume. And we are talking about air freight. One of these boxes in carton costs 18 euros to transport from Kenya, Nairobi to Amsterdam. So I put it like this, I put 2 straps around it, and then I expect this to go down. Now the problem with carton is this wouldn't stop here, it goes down to here. And there are 14 layers of boxes. The boxes absorb the moisture of the flour and they go down. So there's a 2% loss, waste, in the transport. 2%. Every box have 100 euros of value. It's a total loss. So what we did, you know this tie wrap goes one way. So we put the tie wrap here. And we put a system here, which only goes down. It doesn't go up again. It will go gradually. It will go down, down, down. It doesn't come back down until here. It doesn't go any further. No waste of flowers being compressed. So this is a free overload facility, you could say. And then at the arrival, I just take the clips off. That's one. Second, the roses are in Kenya, 35 degrees. They are 5 years, I don't know how many years. Then they come to a cooling area, 6 degrees. One night, go into a packaging area, 4 hours. 4 hours. I have to drink something. Oh, my microphone. Yeah. So, that's better. Now, you put this box, where does the box hang? Hang the box. Over here. No, the previous one. And then I put, oh, great. I put this in front of a cooling wall, and it should be 2 degrees. Now, I can assure you that the first flowers will have cold feet, but the ones who are here maintain a big fraction of their temperature. So they are cooled down to 2 degrees as a target. Now, if I open this, now I have 51% of openness. Now I can have an efficient cooling, and I don't lose half an hour of cooling energy. Now afterwards, I can close it, and there you go. Now the coldness is inside, and now I can control the microclimate. So that's the idea. There's an individual barcode, so I don't need stickers anymore, but I'm sure I even put here, you can put your business cards if you wish, or your company image. Everybody wants image. I'm sure they'll stick it all over the place, but it's no problem. This is anti-stick. The beautiful thing of that material is that on top, I can have a very thin layer of white or gray. I will have the outside gray. It will be anti-stick and anti-slip, and it will have a UV barrier. So it will filter the temperature. So that's basically what's it. The bags or the barcodes. This is a QR code, barcode, all the same. It's one number. So you can, for customs clearance, you can really show it comes in, goes out. Otherwise, I pay import duties. That's basically what it does. So The cost, 10 euros. So we're going to talk about the trip fee, because nobody's going to pay 10 euros. The normal box, the carton box costs 185. So my trip fee must be 185. That's why I guarantee 10 years, which is the number of trips. Now, we've covered this. So we studied the total chain. I had to come up with a return transport, and I have to, go back on the volume. So that's a 96% reduction in volume for return transport. Now, Henk, the next one. The Coolchain coach. Now, a carton is being used. It's wrapped around the flowers, each individual bouquet of 6, 8, 12 flowers. So I came up with the next solution, which is a laminate. It's a laminate. It's being produced in Kosovo. It's a PE with a non-woven, and this absorbs humidity and it gives it back. Other than carton, which absorbs, doesn't give it back. So I can control the relative moisture. And the next slide. And it was stunning to see. We pay 18 euros for the box to be transported from Kenya to Holland. About 50% is primary packaging. So you paid 8 euros for the primary packaging. And with this very thin foil, I'm going to save weight, and you can put, instead of carton, you can put flowers in this box. So that's a way to compensate the fact that this is 2 kilograms, the box was 2 kilograms too, but I gain weight by saving the weight of the single-phase cartons. Then we have invented, together with the supplier, a babbler, and that's big data. This device gives me real time during the transport of the flowers from the grower to Aalsmeer, in this case, 4 data: the shock, the time, the temperature, and the relative moisture. And with those facts, I have predictive power. I can predict at what stage the flowers will come into the deep packing area. And if it's a big problem, if something happened whilst transporting, I can refurnish. Another development is, okay, we have seen this. We're going to introduce a plastic pellet, which is only 4 kilos. It doesn't exist. The pellets, at this moment, of a dimension 800 times 1200, the next one, weigh about 6 kilos. So here we gain 2 kilograms. It's produced again from the same material. It's perfectly ultra strong, 70% nestable, and it has again the track and tracing barcodes all over the place. So it has 8 in-molds to be able to track and trace this during the complete transport. Which is more important is we have a box, the carton box is handled 6 times in the total chain by hand. And when we handle, we lift it in the position of 15 degrees up to 90 degrees. And I've been in the unloading, and it should be handled like this. Now a guy gets a telephone, and what he does like this. He takes up a telephone, does like this. This is very bad for the flowers. So I want to avoid manual handling all over the system by introducing pellets, which is very new. And again, I'm looking at air freight, so I have to go down in the weight, 4 kilograms. The next system is ready for display buggy. Why? Looking at an importer for flowers, I was astonished to see that after throwing away the box, for recycling of course, unpacking the flowers, undoing it from, most of the times, the one-way foil, they use buckets, one-way buckets, again, water cartons, they call it, and they put 16 of these cartons on a Euro pallet with 32 one-way plastic containers. That's a cost of 712 euros per truck. If I would put the flowers in this way, in this trolley, I can put them, when filling them, I can put them on a level of supermarket. I can tailor make them. This is recycled. Loes from Pachter has recycled this. This is recycled product. And then I save a number of handling. And every step contributes to a saving of 712 euros, avoiding one-way packaging. The next one. Maybe we can run this film. I can't touch it from here. Here we are at an importer. What we could do is immediately tailor-make it to the supermarkets and wheel it out. You see now, this is at the vertical position. Now it's in the 45% display position, but it can use the maximum height of a truck. We can take it out and wheel it onto the shop floor. With one movement, only one movement, you move it into 45 degrees. Now this has the same utilization of the truck load as the Euro pellets, but it's only one handling, and it's thematically, it's ready for sales. Nobody needs to touch this, perfectly ready for sales. The only thing is we need new buggies. So again, pooling is the way. This is color modular. It goes back to 300, the depth of this one. I can try to build it up if you wish. One moment. This is how you transport it. This is how you display it. You know, you've seen me juggling around. Even I can do it. And nobody has to touch it and go to a high school or university to place this in the market. And you've seen me doing that. This is why this is nestable. So at €1 pellet, you've got 3 of those cards, and nobody has to touch it. If I do it for flowers, why not for fresh fruit and vegetables? And why not for pots and plants? And you know, Heineken, I've been working a lot with Heineken. They sell a 6-pack of beer. And you pay €6. If you have 6 plants here, there's a value of €18 maybe, 15 to 18. Why not introduce a nice 6-pack ready for sales in such a system and go directly, and now people can take this in a carton which is waterproof, because this is waterproof carton too. It's on water. You can put it 3 weeks on water, nothing happens, it's waterproof. So we can do that for plants too. And which is even more interesting, why should I invest in systems if there are ready to use systems? We've been developing together during my career 3 generations of returnables for a Europool system. They're into fresh fruit and vegetables. They have a pool of 46 million units all over Europe. You can lift here, put your plants in those collapsible systems. You can reduce them to 2 centimeters for return transport. So what is new is put your plants in here. And then we put them on the ready for display. And the beautiful thing here is I've got 3 positions. So you can adapt according to the season and the height of the flowers. You can, per turn, adapt the height of each individual level. Okay, so that's the flower bag. Innovation number 6. Yeah, absolutely. If Henk pushes the button. So we'll roll it in. We'll talk to Bloomberg 2000. We'll talk to big supermarkets who want to join us in putting thematic themes, make a beautiful presentation. This card can go outside on the curbside. It's waterproof, so nothing happens. We're talking about delivering material like this. It's all white. 80% is black, that material, and it's co-laminated, co-extruded, and 10% is white, because you can print beautiful on it, And we're going to do 7,000 tons for labels for horticulture. And we substitute PVC and virgin PP for, it's melted to these polypropylene pots. So that's another market, and I think that's what we have developed. Well, the technology, you've seen the various steps, only the last slide. It took us from 2015 to come so far, so it's not overnight. And then we do it with partners like Fresco Flowers, Container Centralen, and a lot of other people, because you simply cannot do it by yourself if you want to have the necessary speed. So these are the innovations developed in half a year. We're ready for investment in the tools, etc. And we're talking with interesting pool operators to give a good service to you all. Thank you very much.